Yo, it is Amayo here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about One Piece again, specifically Pandaman. You know, Pandaman, that guy that shows up in like pretty much every episode of the anime and pretty much every chapter of the manga, and maybe you didn't know that because you're just too bad at spotting him, but I know that because I'm a true One Piece fan, unlike some of you out there, and basically I just wanted to make a video on the past, the present, the future, everything about this amazing man named Pandaman, because pandas are cool, and Pandaman is a panda and a man, making him very cool. Alright, so, start with some basic stats. Pandaman is exactly 200 centimeters, which is like close to 6'8". He's a big man. Next of all, Pandaman is that tall, but he's not a large man. He's pretty skinny. But he's fit though. He's a good man, and he needs to appear in like all sorts of panels in One Piece. So he doesn't really have like a larger body type. He just kind of fits in where the panels allow him to. So he's often just seen like in smaller corners, smaller areas, or he's in like bigger places where we get to see him, and like it's very easy to see him. Like for instance, let's say when they were announcing like the Heart Pirates and we got to see all the Heart Pirates, then Pandaman was just one of the Heart Pirates. Of the 20 members of Law's crew, Pandaman just happens to be one of them. And Pandaman shows up everywhere in the story, in all the major places like where the Straw Hats go, and that's pretty much like his main purpose there. But we've seen him in like a bigger area or bigger light in certain areas of like the anime, like filler and stuff, where he can take a bigger part in just like their interactions. He gets to properly interact with the crew, and just like we get to see more of him besides that. Like we saw that in one of the filler arcs that was like post Thriller Bark, where they just went back to feudal Japan for a little while, if you remember those. I vaguely remember it. I just looked it up for this video, but he was a member of the town that was respected by everyone. His name was like Boss Tom or something. So just goes to show that Oda has like, I don't know, little gags that he wants, and he lets them like use them in like larger projects inside of the manga. And now moving on to like what Pandaman's actually doing. So what happened with Pandaman is basically he was like this little kid, and he was raised by giant pandas, as his namesake and everything else does. And we don't know if his head is actually just his head is just a panda, or the thing is like he is like wearing like, I don't know, a mask or something. Or we saw like with the story of like Inosuke and Demon Slayer, where he took on like his mother's head, and he just wears it around now. So it could be something like that with Pandaman. But the thing that deters me from this is that they said that he was raised by giant pandas, so it probably isn't one of like his proper like parents or whatever. And what happened with that after that, he headed to Fuchsia Village, which is where Luffy's originally from. And what happened with Luffy is that he ran into, well, Luffy was just doing his adventure, but while he was at Fuchsia Village, Pandaman ran into these debt collectors, and what happened with them is that they found out about it, and then ever since he's been chased around by Tomato Gang, who is another basically just like gag character that Oda includes sometimes. And he's not actually like a tomato man or anything. He just has a face that's very similar to a tomato. It's not actually a gang, it's just his name is just Tomato Gang. And also he's being chased around by one other member, who is this man named Unforgivable Mask, who is now the main person that was hired by Tomato Gang to go ahead and get the debt back from Pandaman. And then a few other things about Pandaman. He has this other character named Panda Woman that he's apparently in love with, but we've only seen her like once or twice. She's not as like popular, or we haven't seen as much of her, obviously. And one more thing about Pandaman was that when I looked him up on the wiki, I found out that apparently when he was a child, then he claimed that he saw Princess Kaguya, which is like this basically just like folklore story in Japan, and he claimed that he saw her, and she has like this connection to the moon because she's apparently a moon person, and he probably just saw her one day, and he was like teased for that. So by the time that he was like a small child, or just like maybe a partially more grown-up kid, then he had already separated himself to some degree from the giant pandas that were raising him, and had started to move on with other things. Very cool, Pandaman, very cool. And that's pretty much all we've seen of him. And I'm just gonna make like a part of this video on what I think his future might be like, because he's probably just still gonna be like in every chapter or whatever, and in like every episode, and we're probably just gonna be able to see him in the background. But I wanted to talk about like the likelihood of him actually showing up in the story properly, like in the canon of the manga, which could happen at like a few separate places, most likely at like Raft Hill or something, where we just see him like probably finally reveal himself. I don't think he's gonna be like the final villain or whatever. Yes, Pandaman was rocks all along, the most strongest pirate in all the lands, stronger than Wang Ji, and yeah, Pandaman, he could be there, and he could be like the one that announces the One Piece. Maybe Pandaman was on Roger's crew all along and was instructed by Shanks to go watch over Luffy. I don't think it's anything that ridiculous. And the likelihood of him even showing up in the manga in the first place is not very strong at all, and I don't think he's really going to show up there. But besides that, I don't think he would have any place in interacting with the characters in the manga. So that would be like the only extent where I could probably see him showing up in the story, because if it's going to be somewhere, it's going to be either somewhere really stupid or somewhere really important to the story. And if it's not that, the only other place I could possibly think of is at the very end of the story, where we see like prologues or whatever, or we see like the Straw Hat crew even beyond what they found in the One Piece, and they're just like exploring the world now. And maybe after that point, then maybe that's one of the random people that the Straw Hats end up adventuring with, or having some kind of brawl or battle with. So we could see him involved in a bunch of different ways that aren't like truly relevant to the story. And that's pretty much it for his involvement. So that means that's pretty much it for the video. It's a shorter one today, but I don't really have that much to talk about with Pandaman. I'm still doing daily content, except for the 2 days where I didn't properly upload. And please do like, comment, subscribe, share. Please do share it around. Channel to grow. We're at 9 subscribers now. Trying to get it up. Yeah.